Welcome.
A minute to movie.
Today I will be recapping an action horror movie. After an outbreak of the deadly T-virus in Umbrella's underground laboratory, the dead starts coming back to life, marking the beginning of a massive zombie infestation. Before we start, don't forget to like, subscribe, and turn on notifications for our channel. Please sit tight and enjoy the recap of the movie franchise, Resident Evil 1-6. Oh, and of course, spoilers ahead. The show begins with Alice, the story's protagonist, waking up in the bathroom of a deserted mansion with no recollection of how she got there. While she is exploring the mansion, Matthew, a police officer, grabs her. Next, a team of commandos breaks into the mansion and apprehends both of them. The team picks up Spence, another amnesiac, along the way. James, the team leader, explains to Alice that everyone, except Matthew, are security operatives working for the Umbrella Corporation. However, due to nerve gas released in the mansion, both Alice and Spence are now suffering from temporary amnesia. Hours ago, the Hive, Umbrella's top-secret research facility underneath Raccoon City, was locked down and flooded by the facility's artificial intelligence, the Red Queen, killing everyone. In response, James and his team have been dispatched to shut her down. The team breaks into the Hive and Chaplin, an IT specialist, hacks the door to the Red Queen's chamber. Unexpectedly, opening the door activated a hidden laser defense system. Kaplan finally deactivates the lasers, and they continue with the mission to shut down the Red Queen. Unbeknownst to them, a thief had broken into the Hive earlier to steal the T-virus. To cover his tracks, he released the vial of T-virus, infecting everyone and triggering the Queen's containment protocol. Upon her shutdown, all infected Hive staff are released. The remaining team members, Rain and JD, are attacked by a horde of zombified Hive staff. Rain gets bitten and JD killed during the attack. Rain, Kaplan, and Spence are forced back into the control room, while Matthew and Alice are separated. Alice saves Matthew from a zombie, who turns out to be her sister. Matthew reveals that they are actually environmental activists trying to find evidence of Umbrella's illegal viral experiments. They finally reunite in the control room, where Rain explains that the Hive's entrance will seal shut in an hour as part of its containment protocol. With no other choice, the group reactivates the Red Queen and forces her to find them a way out. She directs the group into an underground tunnel where they are attacked by zombies. Chaplin gets bitten and separated from the group. Alice recalls that there is a cure for the T-virus and leads the group to its location. Regrettably, both the T-virus and antivirus are missing. This triggers Spence's memory, and he recalls that he stole the T-virus. Spence turns on the group, trapping them in the lab as he escapes to the train where he hid the T-virus. However, Spence is killed by a liquor, a mutated T-virus experiment, set upon him by the Red Queen. Kaplan shows up and shuts down the Red Queen, freeing them from the lab. The group retrieves the antivirus, escapes on the train, and injects Rain and Kaplan with the antivirus. Unfortunately, a licker has hidden on the train and attacks them, injuring Matt and killing Kaplan. Alice kills the licker by dropping in onto the tracks. Matthew is forced to shoot Rain, who has turned into a zombie despite taking the antivirus. They finally reach the mansion, but Matthew's wound has begun to mutate. Suddenly, Umbrella scientists rush out and grab him, revealing that he will be placed in the Nemesis program. They subdue Alice and move her to a new facility in Raccoon City. End of Resident Evil 1. After Alice's capture, Umbrella sends a team to reopen and investigate the Hive. They are quickly overrun by zombies which spread to Raccoon City. In response, Major Kane, leader of Umbrella's security force, arranged for the evacuation of Dr. Ashford, an important Umbrella scientist, and Angela, her daughter. Unfortunately, she goes missing after her transport is involved in a collision during evacuation. To prevent the virus from spreading, Major Kane seals the only bridge leading out of the city. On the bridge, Valentine, an ex-police officer, reunites with Sergeant Peyton, her former partner. Regrettably, an infected civilian turns into a zombie and bites Peyton. Valentine, Peyton, and Terry, a news reporter they met on the bridge, take refuge in a church. Meanwhile, Alice wakes up in a hospital. She recalls being injected with the T-virus. Instead of mutating, she bonds with it on a cellular level and gains superhuman abilities. She senses that Valentine, Peyton, and Terry are under attack by a licker and comes to their rescue. After killing it, the group leaves to find a safer location. Dr. Ashford hacks into the city's CCTV system and uses it to contact Alice. He informs her that the city will be nuked at sunrise and offers to evacuate them if they save his daughter. On their way to Angela's school, Alice and the others are ambushed by Nemesis, a super soldier mutated by the T-virus. Peyton is killed by Nemesis. Terry and Valentine escape while Alice distracts him. She barely escapes with her life. As the outbreak continues to spread, Umbrella soldiers Carlos, Nikolai, and Yuri receive orders to assist the local police force in Raccoon City. Sadly, Yuri gets infected and bites Carlos. Nikolai kills him in self-defense. Shortly after, Dr. Ashford calls Carlos and Nikolai and makes them the same offer. Meanwhile, Valentine and Terry have arrived at Angela's school with LJ, a civilian they picked up along the way. Terry is killed by a group of zombified school children. Valentine locates Angela but gets attacked by zombie dogs. She is saved by Nikolai, who sacrifices his life so they could get away. Alice arrives just in time to save Valentine and Angela from the zombie dogs. The three then join up with Carlos and LJ. Angela reveals that the T-virus is created by her father to treat her terminal condition. She is given antivirus injections to avoid turning into a zombie. Alice uses some of it to cure Carlos. Dr. Ashford gives Alice the location of an extraction point where a helicopter awaits. The group arrives but are ambushed by Umbrella soldiers. Major Kane kills Dr. Ashford and forces Alice to fight Nemesis. She engages him in hand-to-hand combat and wins. However, she stops after realizing that he is Matthew, mutated by the T-virus. Nemesis starts to remember Alice from before and turns on Major Kane. Unfortunately, he dies while protecting Alice. The rest of the survivors seize the helicopter and eject Major Kane from it. Moments later, a nuke detonates over the city, causing an explosion which crashes the helicopter. Alice sacrifices herself to save Angela. She wakes up in a research facility and escapes with the help of the other survivors. Shortly after, Dr. Isaacs, Umbrella's chief scientist, reveals that the entire escape is staged and orders the activation of Program Alice remotely via satellite. End of Resident Evil 2. 5 years have passed. The T-virus has spread worldwide, wiping out most of the human population and reducing continents to barren wastelands. Alice has been wandering the wasteland while evading Umbrella's satellite grid and finds information on an uninfected outpost in Alaska. Back at Umbrella, using blood from clones of Alice, Dr. Isaacs is trying to develop a serum that could partially reverse the effects of the T-virus, domesticating violent zombies. However, instead of pacifying them, Alice's blood has led to the creation of highly aggressive super zombies. After repeated failures, Wesker, chairman of Umbrella Corporation, threatens to replace Isaacs. Meanwhile, a convoy of survivors led by Claire and Raccoon City survivors Carlos and LJ travels across the country in search of supplies and shelter. While searching a motel, LJ is bitten by a zombie. Fearing the harsh fate that awaits him, he keeps his infection a secret. Next morning, the convoy is attacked by a flock of infected crows, killing multiple people. Alice comes to their rescue and wipes out the crows with her newly developed psionic powers, a result of her T-virus mutation. She collapses after using her powers. After waking up, she meets Kmart, Claire, and other convoy survivors. Alice tells Claire about the uninfected Alaska outpost, who informs the rest of the convoy. The group votes to travel to Alaska. Before making such a long journey, they need to resupply at Las Vegas. Unbeknownst to the group, psionic activity from Alice has been detected by Isaac's new AI system, the White Queen, and she manages to triangulate her location. To capture Alice for his research, Isaac sends his super zombies to ambush the convoy, defying Wesker's orders. During the attack, most of the convoy are killed, and LJ succumbs to his infection, biting Carlos before he kills him. Mid-fight, Isaac shuts Alice down by a satellite. However, she manages to break free from Umbrella's control and tracks Isaacs down to a tentage nearby. He manages to escape, but not before getting bitten by a zombie in the process. Alice, Kmart, Claire, and Carlos track the helicopter's flight path back to Umbrella's underground facility, which is completely surrounded by zombies. To clear a path for the rest, the infected Carlos sacrifices himself and drives an oil tanker rigged with explosives into the zombie horde. Alice drives through the wreckage to the helicopter, which the remaining convoy survivors used to fly to Alaska. Alice stays behind to confront Isaacs. She meets the White Queen, who tells her that Isaac has mutated into a monster and killed everyone in the facility. Alice continues to the lower levels and encounters one of her clones, where she is attacked by the mutated Isaacs. She pursues him into a replica of the mansion and the hive. The battle continues into the laser room, where Isaac is sliced into pieces with the laser grid, activated by Alice's now awakened clone. Hours later, Alice appears at an Umbrella board meeting and vows to come for Wesker with the help of her clones, who she has awakened in the facility. End of Resident Evil 3. 4 years later, Alice and her clones initiate the assault on Umbrella's Tokyo HQ. Wesker escapes in a plane and detonates a bomb that destroys the entire facility. Unexpectedly, Alice is snuck on board earlier and attempts to kill Wesker. He reveals that he has used the T-virus to gain superhuman abilities and injects Alice with an antivirus to remove hers. The plane crashes into the mountains, but she survives the crash. Next, Alice flies to Alaska to find a safe haven called Arcadia. Instead, she finds Claire in Kmart's abandoned helicopter and gets attacked by Claire, who is being mind-controlled by a spider-like device. Alice removes it and frees Claire but realizes she is suffering from memory loss. They travel to Los Angeles, where they find survivors stranded in a prison surrounded by zombies. With their help, Alice lands on the roof and meets Luther, leader of a band of survivors, Angel, Janet, Crystal, Yond, and Wendell. She learns that Arcadia is actually a ship anchored along the west coast. Alice goes to the showers to wash up but ends up getting attacked by zombies that dug into the prison. Alice fights them off, but Wendell is dragged into the tunnel. The group decides to free Chris, the only inmate left in the prison, who insists he is falsely imprisoned and will help them escape in exchange for his freedom. Once free, Chris identifies Claire as his sister, but she does not remember him. He reveals that the prison has an armored car they can use to escape. Alice, Chris, and Crystal rush to the basement armory to get more weapons, but Crystal dies in the process. Angel, Bennett, and Young realize the armored car is missing its engine and will take a week to fix. Desperate, Bennett kills Angel and flies to Arcadia in Alice's plane, leaving the rest behind. Meanwhile, the Axeman, the giant axe-wielding zombie, has broken down the gate. To survive, the group decides to use the zombie-dug tunnels to escape. Unfortunately, the Axeman finds them and kills Young. Alice and Claire engage the Axeman in an epic battle and win. Alice, Claire, and Chris finally escape through the tunnels, but Luther gets ambushed by a zombie. They take a boat to Arcadia, only to find it abandoned. As they explore the ship, Claire recalls that Arcadia is actually a trap set by Umbrella to capture test subjects. They release all survivors, including Kmart, who are imprisoned in underground stasis chambers. Alice finds Wesker, who was revived by the T-virus and losing control of his body. He believes ingesting Alice, who has successfully bonded with the virus, will help him regain control. Chris and Claire fight Wesker but are overpowered by him. Fortunately, Alice is able to defeat both Wesker and Bennett, who is now working for him. However, Wesker regenerates after eating Bennett and escapes in a plane. He attempts to detonate a bomb on Arcadia. Unbeknownst to him, the bomb has been transferred to the plane by Alice, blowing him up instead. Alice resolves to turn Arcadia into a real safe haven and broadcasts a new message for survivors. Shortly after, a fleet of Umbrella gunships approaches the ship, led by Valentine, who is wearing the same mind-control device used on Claire. End of Resident Evil 4. During the attack of Arcadia by Umbrella gunships, Alice was thrown overboard. She is captured and brought to a bioweapons testing facility known as Umbrella Prime. A power failure occurs, allowing Alice to escape from her cell. After fighting off a zombie horde, she enters a control room filled with dead Umbrella employees. Alice meets Ada, Wesker's top agent. Wesker appears on a monitor and explains that they are in an underwater facility in Russia, built for simulating T-virus outbreaks in different countries. Ada clarifies that they no longer work for Umbrella and the power outage was staged by them. The Red Queen has taken control of the company and plans to wipe out the human race. To defeat her, Wesker proposes an alliance. He has organized the strike team to extract Alice and Ada, comprising of Leon, Barry, Sergei, Tony, and Luther, who survived the zombie attack in the tunnel. Barry plants explosives near the entrance of the facility, which will detonate in 2 hours to ensure its destruction. The strike team enters the Moscow simulation and is surrounded by a heavily armed zombie horde, enhanced by the lost Plaga's parasite. Meanwhile, the Alice clone awakens in the simulation of Raccoon City, living with Todd, her husband, and Becky, their deaf daughter. They are attacked by zombies, which kill Becky's parents, leaving her to fend for herself. The real Alice and Ada make their way to Raccoon City and encounter Becky, who mistakes Alice for her clone mother. Outside the house, Valentine and a squad of Umbrella soldiers, comprised of clones of James, Rain, and Carlos, are waiting for them. A firefight breaks out and Ada stays behind to provide cover so that Alice and Becky are able to escape. They enter the Moscow simulation and meet a second, much friendlier Rain clone. Alice gives her a weapon to help keep Becky safe. She then rescues the remaining crew, Leon, Barry, and Luther, from the Los Plagas zombies and a giant licker. The group reaches the elevators. Unfortunately, the licker catches up to them, captures Becky, kills Rain, and injures Barry. Alice pursues the licker to rescue Becky. Shortly after, the group is ambushed by Valentine's team. Barry sacrifices himself to slow down their enemies, allowing Leon and Luther to escape. The explosives at the entrance go off, flooding the entire facility. After killing the licker and rescuing Becky, Alice reunites with the others near the surface. Sadly, the group's escape is stopped by Valentine and Rain, who are holding Ada hostage. Rain injects herself with the Los Plagas parasite, giving her superhuman abilities. Leon and Luther clashes with Rain, while Alice fights Valentine. Mid-fight, Alice manages to tear the mind-controlling device off her chest, releasing her from the Red Queen's control. Sadly, Rain kills Luther with a blow to the heart and knocks out Leon. To defeat Rain, Alice breaks the ice under her feet, dropping her into a sea of zombies. Alice and the remaining survivors are rescued and flown to the White House. She meets Wesker in the Oval Office, where he injects her with the T-virus, returning her superhuman abilities. On the roof, Wesker explains that humanity is making their final stand against the Red Queen, who is determined to wipe out the human race. End of Resident Evil 5. In the flashback, Dr. Marcus, the original founder of the Umbrella Corporation, had a daughter, Alicia, who was dying from progeria, a premature aging disease. Desperate, Marcus developed the T-virus to cure her and others with the disease. After a child treated with the virus turned into a zombie, Marcus terminated the project. However, his business partner, Dr. Isaacs, disagreed with the decision and ordered Wesker to kill Marcus. Isaacs took over the business. He also became Alicia's guardian and created an AI, using her likeness, known as the Red Queen. In the present, Alice awakens in the ribbons of the White House, the only one alive, betrayed by Wesker. The Red Queen appears and informs Alice that the last human settlement will be destroyed in 48 hours. To save them, she needs to infiltrate the hive in Raccoon City and steal Umbrella's new airborne antivirus, which will kill everything infected by the T-virus. On the way there, Alice is captured by Isaacs and learns that the previous one she killed was a clone. She manages to overpower Isaac and escape on an Umbrella motorcycle. In Raccoon City, Alice is stopped at a tower by a group of survivors, Doc, Abigail, Razor, and Claire, who survived the attack on Arcadia. Alice helps them mount a defense against Isaacs and his zombie army. Up. Go! They win the battle, but Isaac manages to escape. The group realizes that more zombies are coming, but with no defenses left, their only option is to head towards the hive. In the hive, the Red Queen appears and explains that she is programmed to never hurt an Umbrella employee, but also to value human life. As a result, she requires Alice's help to stop Isaacs, who plans to wipe out humankind, and warns her that there is a spy in her group. Next, they make their way through several traps, which end up killing Abigail and Razor. Alice meets up with Doc and they make their way to the Umbrella High Command's cryogenic chambers, where they plant explosives to destroy the hive. At the bottom floor, Alice is confronted by the real, tech-upgraded Isaacs. Doc reveals that he is the spy, betraying Claire, who has been captured by Wesker. A cryotube opens, releasing Alicia, Umbrella co-owner and Dr. Marcus' daughter. Alice is shocked to find out she is actually Alicia's clone, engineered to avoid progeria. Alicia fires Wesker from Umbrella, allowing the Red Queen to crush his leg with a security door. While Alice is disarming Doc, Isaacs escapes with the antivirus. Alice and Claire pursue Isaacs, after killing Doc and giving Wesker a detonant switch to the explosives. They get into a fight, but Isaacs overpowers them easily. To defeat him, Alice secretly plants a grenade in his pocket, fatally wounding him. She escapes to the surface and drops the antivirus. However, Isaacs, who regenerated due to his tech upgrade, catches the antivirus before it hits the ground. They are interrupted by Isaac's clone. He goes berserk after learning he is a clone and kills the real Isaacs. He dies to the zombie horde moments later. Meanwhile, Wesker drops the Deadman's switch, killing everyone in the facility. Alice releases the airborne antivirus, killing all zombies around her. However, Alice survives because the antivirus only killed the T-virus, not the healthy cells in her body. As the antivirus could take years to spread across the globe, Alice vows to continue her mission. End of Resident Evil 6. Please stay tuned for the next TV recap. Comment below on what you liked or disliked about our video. Thank you for watching.